Hi, my name is Brandon Brooks. I'm 35 years old, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I work in video production. I've held I've I've held a lot of different jobs in the food industry. I've been a waiter, I've been a bartender, I've been a line prep cook, and I've also done room service at different four-star hotels. I've been a I've been a mystery diner now since about October of 2009. I have to say my experiences with it have been fantastic. I enjoy walking into a restaurant knowing that when I go in there, I'm helping the owners. Let's see. I've worked I've worked as a I've worked as a mystery diner for about 2 years now. I think it was October of I've worked as a mystery diner since October of 2009. It's been a fantastic job, and I've really enjoyed getting to know different people and experiencing the different restaurants that are around the Phoenix Valley. Being a mystery diner is really exciting. You get to go into these different restaurants, you get to feel like you're helping out, that your input actually means something when you go in there. What you observe will help that company to succeed. The things that you say, the things that you do really shine through. It doesn't feel like you're just complaining to a manager at some point and hoping that something happens. They want your input. They need your input, and they're looking for your input. That's one reason why I think that restaurants really do need to have mystery diners. They need that input. We see the things that slip through the cracks, that aren't quite able to, that aren't quite seen by the bosses, that aren't quite, we see the things that slip through the cracks. That's something that your boss, your manager may not get to see. Because usually when those employees see those people, they're putting their best foot forward. Usually the customer kind of gets shoved to the back. It's their job that the employees don't want to lose. That's generally where they mess up, is when the boss is not around. That's why Mystery Diner is such a good idea. I've gone on a whole lot of different, I've gone on many different mystery dining, I've gone on many different mystery dining jobs. There are a lot of different mystery dining jobs that I've gone on. One was at, one of those particular jobs was at a little Mexican food restaurant here in the valley. Fantastic service. I gotta say, when I walked in there, the hostess was prompt, the waiter was very attentive, very quick to get my order. The food was phenomenal. It was fantastic. And I would have to say, I would have given that place, and I have to say, I gave that place quite a good marking the last time I was there. It was wonderful. The service was great. So not every mystery dining experience winds up being a bad one. There are a lot of bad ones out there, though. I went to this little Irish place this one time. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say names of anything, so I'm going to, and if you need to bleep them out. I went to this little Irish place one time called Vindaloo, and as soon as I walked into the restaurant, there was no one at the front. As soon as I walked into the restaurant, there were two hostesses As soon as I walked into the restaurant, two of the hostesses were just standing there talking to each other. It was about 30 seconds to a minute that I stood there waiting to get their attention. And you know, when you walk into a restaurant, 1 minute is like dog years. It takes about 7 minutes in your mind mentally to get through. So it felt like an eternity. After that, the experience just kind of rolled downhill. The waiter wasn't really prompt. The only thing I could say good about it was the food was fantastic. But I've been to a bunch of different little places here in the valley. Some are good, some are bad, some are right on the line. But it's those little bit of input but it's that little bit of input that I give that helps it to become a really good place. Usually when I evaluate a restaurant, I usually evaluate it in a few different ways. One, how clean is the place? Is it really a clean environment? Is it really... When I evaluate a restaurant, I evaluate it on a different kind... When I evaluate a restaurant, I evaluate it on a scale. Not numbers for anything. When I evaluate a restaurant, I evaluate it on a few different things. How clean is the restaurant? How prompt is the hostess? How nice are they whenever I walk in if there is going to be a long wait? How quickly does the waiter attend to me? Is he attending to me the whole entire evening? Is he intending How prompt is the waiter in getting what I ask? How prompt is the waiter in getting what I ask? How prompt is the waiter in getting what I ask? Does he attend to me regularly throughout the whole entire evening? After he gives me the check, does he stick around and still be interested? How is the food? Is the food hot? Is the food cold if it desired? How is the food? Is the food hot if it needs to be? Is it cold if it needs to be? Does the food seem like it's been sitting up at an underpass for a while? Does the food feel like it's been sitting up under the heat lamp for a while? That's generally the things that I want to know. I want to know what can be done to improve this restaurant's ratings. The worst experience I had was not so much a standpoint. The worst experience I had as a mystery diner was not so much from the food aspect of it as the worst experience I had as a mystery diner is not so much from the aspect of food, but from the service. I had this waiter one time. He would not get off his phone. We're in a restaurant. The guy's walking around on his cell phone. He's passing by all the different customers, and I can tell they're getting pretty perturbed. Well, I'm making my mental notes for it because who really wants to be waited on someone who could care less about your order? So the guy's walking back and forth doing in his own business. The guy's walking back and forth in his own world, okay? I've learned about the party that he had that night, how much beer he drank, what the name of the last two girls that he really, really liked and tried to date in high school. All the while, customers all around me are seething with anger. The guys Finally, after what felt like an eternity, with what felt like was an eternity, the gentleman started to bring me my first drink. Mind you, I'd been sitting in the table for probably 5 to 10 minutes. All of a sudden, I see a larger gentleman stand up, walk over to the hostess, talk to her for a second, write something down, and come back. I didn't think much of it, but I got my drink, and I drank it. And about 5 minutes later, he comes back over bringing me what I ordered. About 5 minutes later, he comes over to bring me the appetizer that I had ordered. When he gets to my table, I'm so happy. After about 5 minutes, the waiter starts bringing me back the appetizer that I had ordered and had sent back already because it had been cold sitting under the heat lamps. I'm really glad that he chose this moment to come back to my table, because as he got to my table, he told his friend that was on the other line, who I assumed it was his friend on the other line, that he needed to put him on hold. As soon as he clicked over the button, onto the other line, I saw the gentleman about 3 tables away from me stand up and ask, "Hey, Frank, is it okay if I get my barbecue sauce now? The rest of us are really hungry, and we'd appreciate it if you'd hang up your phone call. And we'd appreciate it if you would hang up." Well, needless to say, that was great, because not only did I find something that was incredibly wrong with the system in that place, but also it was called on and justice had been served pretty immediately. The manager was called out. He walked him into the back room, and that's the last I saw of Frank that evening. I like to think that the manager grabbed him squarely by the back of his neck and kicked him out of the back door. But then again, that's only something that I'm going to have to imagine in my head, because I didn't see any of that. I think I would make a really good on-camera mystery diner because I have a lot of enthusiasm, I speak very well with people, and as an improv actor and improv comedian, I work well with people. I work better off of people, with people, and in front of a camera. I enjoy this so much. This is something that I think I would really enjoy doing. I think start over again. I really, really think that I would make a great on-camera mystery diner. I have a lot of charisma. In front of people, I have a lot of charisma. I interact very well with people. I have a very good demeanor when it comes to people, and I'm very good at observing things. I like to talk to the camera. I like to talk to people. I like to be personable. People are fun, and I enjoy an audience. I enjoy a crowd, and I enjoy people. This is something that I would just love to do for you, and this is something that I would just love to do for myself as well. I hope you do pick me. I am an improv comedian. I am also an improv actor. I've been married for about 14 years. I have 2 wonderful children. Love my job. I love my job, and I really, really hope that I can work more with you guys in the future. Thank you very much.